little different perspective on justice, huh? Man. Well, Pastor asked me to speak just a few words on things regarding justice as it pertains to our community specifically. And, a lot of things kind of ran through, that we could talk about and, things that we can deal with and address. But one thing kind of specifically stuck with me, and it's about our homeless population. So, committed to the word, we have like a long, standing ministry as far as dealing with, the homeless, going out there in Mount Vernon, and dealing with the folks out there in that neighborhood, over there doing Feed the Streets as far as like the west side of Columbus. But I wanted to just break down a little bit as far as like the numbers and things like that, and really, kind of shedding light on the demographic that we're dealing with. So there's a lot of notions as it pertains to who's homeless, why people are homeless, and things like that. And I just want to clear it up just a little bit, a little bit about the numbers, and kind of, make it a little more clear for some of the things that you may see, for those that participate in such ministries as taking care of those out there on the streets. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So, first off, just thinking about some of the people that are homeless and why they're homeless. So there's a lot of stigma as far as people that are homeless. We go to POD has the opportunity to go to various schools, and we talk about poverty. And we always ask the kids, you say, hey, why are people homeless? And they say, oh, well, they're lazy. They didn't go to college, or they didn't, listen to their parents. They'll give us everything as far as, why people are homeless. They didn't pay their bills. They didn't work enough. We hear all of these various things, but when you really dig down into the numbers, it kind of really illustrates a different picture. And it doesn't necessarily show so much as how the people are failing to take care of the responsibilities as the people that are supposed to make sure that things are taken care of here in our city are not taking care of their business and responsibilities. So, first of all, as far as just describing the population, so it was recorded that people that suffer from domestic violence here in the U.S. altogether, that accounted for about 50% of people that were homeless. So people that were in some kind of situation in one way or the other were affected by domestic violence and ended up being a part of the homeless population. So those that are being oppressed in the household, which the most vulnerable population in the U.S. For homelessness is women and children. So people that are being abused in the household and they have to escape, and it's either live in a home or be out on the street to avoid and escape oppression. That's the option that they chose to be in that situation. A large number of our children that are running the streets and out here without places to live and in and out of shelters suffer from domestic violence. So that's just one aspect as far as people that are out here on the streets. When we're riding past and we're seeing people with signs and we're thinking, well, if he can stand there all day, he can get a job.
Come on.
If his legs are strong enough to stand through all of the elements and all of the people that are passing by, then he can go get him a job. So I want you to think and envision these various things as I'm describing the population as it is. So mentally ill. So it was recorded that about 16%, which I believe in 2018 is a much higher number, accounted for the people that are homeless, and specifically in Franklin County. So 16% of all of the people that live in Franklin County that are homeless are that population. So we see the people that, again, we hear people that don't work. So a lot of these people that have these mental illnesses and conditions, it prevents them from being able to maintain stable employment. It prevents them from being able to organize their bills in such a fashion that they can get it paid on time and maintain their residence at various places. It even affects them being in shelters. So some people that, there's certain times that you have to be in, as far as like curfews and things like that, that they aren't maintaining because of their mental illnesses. So keep that in mind when we're thinking about our homeless population. the actual people that are in homeless shelters here in Columbus, Ohio. In 2017, it was reported that 18% of men and 12% of women were 56 years of age or older. So we think about our elders here in Columbus, Ohio, and we think about them working all of their lives, them retiring, them taking care of years and years and years and years at the workplace and taking care of kids, grandkids, and things like that. And 18% of men and 12% of women are 56 years of age and older in the homeless community and in and out of shelters, to be taken care of. So just thinking about that, getting to that situation, there was a report in the Dispatch about a gentleman. He was 55 years old, and he fell into a place where he ended up having to be in a homeless shelter. So he was a construction worker, lifelong, worked, money in the bank, well taken care of all his life. The stress of actually being a construction worker kind of took hold on him. He had 2 heart attacks. So from then he couldn't work. So he was at home, he had his apartment, he was going through his savings, going through all of the money that he had put aside, for retirement and things, and ended up losing everything after just a year. Went through all of his money, all of his savings, everything that he had. He ended up in a homeless shelter. And one thing that he said was surprising to him was how many people were older than him that were in the homeless shelter. So again, we think about people, being lazy, being this, being that, and here we have a man that was on his way to retirement. As far as being a construction worker and doing one of the hardest jobs that you can do, as far as physical demand, he ended up being in a homeless shelter, and that's right here in Columbus. So just be mindful of that as well. Again, housing. So the fair market price for a 2-bedroom apartment here that was just recorded a couple years ago was $720 a month, right? So just a couple years ago, the minimum wage was $7.95. Now it's $8.30. So if you work 40 hours a week at $8.30,
come on,
it just times that by 40 hours a week. You do that by 52 weeks in a year. You're gonna make it to $17,264. Right. So you're under $18,000 if you go to work every single day. You don't take no time off. And you're consistently doing the job that you're called to do, working minimum wage. Which we know that more than 150,000 people here just in Franklin County make minimum wage, and they're expected to afford this. So just thinking about making right now $830, $17,264 a year. If you subtract that from $720 every single month for 12 months, that will leave you with $8,624, right? So that's not including taking care of, just taxes. Taxes. Which is going to chop that down.
Oh yeah.
Healthcare,
Oh yeah.
chop that down.
Yep.
Car
We ain't gonna have
payment,
nothing.
chop that down. Child care, chop that down.
Insurance.
Food expenses, chop that down. Insurance, chop that down. Phone bill, chop that down.
Water.
Electric, water, trash, chop that down. Lord forbid if you have HOA dues or anything like that, just gonna chop that down. Don't let your car break down. That's not even gas for your vehicle. And that chops that down. So you think about these various things that leave people with nothing. So you can technically go to work every single day, which there's a lot of people that we meet when we do Feed the Streets that have jobs. They come up and they're thankful that we're able to give them clothes and food, and then they go to work that are out here on the streets daily. So, just thinking about this, there has to be a breakdown because it's not about just working hard anymore. So the rate and the affordability as far as just living here in Columbus, Ohio specifically, it's not about just working hard. Just working hard doesn't keep food on the table. Just working hard doesn't keep a roof over your head.
That's right.
So we have to be mindful of these things, and just because it affects so many different demographics. Our women, our children, and our elderly, our people that are working every single day. I wanted to just bring it to our church's attention, specifically just because it affects everybody on all fronts.
It does.
So I just want everybody to be mindful of that, and I just want to end with just the average lifespan as far as somebody that lives on the streets versus that lives housed. So the average lifespan of somebody that is living on the streets on a daily basis, not protected from the elements, not getting the nutrition and food that they need on a daily basis, the average lifespan for them is 64 years of age. And that's usually, people that, have lived, a certain amount of life where they have been taken care of, and then they end up in such a situation. And it leads them, the average lifespan for them to be 64 years of age. People that live housed consistently throughout their lifespan, their average lifespan is 80 years of age. So you think about that 16-year lifespan difference, just from various things that can come about. People get diabetes because they're not eating the way that they should, because they don't have access to that kind of food. You think about in food deserts, you got a whole bunch of corner stores out there that aren't giving nutritional food. You got a McDonald's on every corner, and the food is affordable. You can get you a $1 sandwich, you can get you a $1 fry, you can get you a dollar, all of this stuff that's not healthy for you, and processed with all of this mess, so the companies can profit because they don't have access to those things. So just, and all of that plays a factor in how long somebody's living and the condition in which they're living their lives on a daily basis. And actually, I'll end on this. So, drug addiction. We see people, and that's a common misconception that people that end up homeless and are on drugs, that it's the drugs that hit first. That, because you're a drug addict, that's why you're homeless and you lost everything. You lost your family, you lost your, your friends and your employment and all of these various things. But it's one of those things where it's, what's first, the egg or the chicken? Because a lot of people that end up homeless end up addicted to drugs because of the depression, the stress of the situation, and all of those various things that lead them down such a path. So, just as Pastor was talking about, justice starts with us. Justice starts in our daily interactions. Justice starts when we're out there doing Feed the Streets. Justice starts when people come into these doors and they're not smelling good. They're not dressed in their Sunday best. They don't have a bow tie on. Justice starts then as far as the way that we treat people. And it'll affect our community in such a different way. If the people that were in position of power and leading these various organizations that affect cost here in our communities, if they were walking through the bottoms on a daily basis, walking through the hilltop, walking through the MVP projects out there in Mount Vernon on a daily basis and talking to those people that are really struggling, their perspective would be different. The interaction that they have with those people would be different. If it was their mama out there or something like that, it would be very different, and our perspectives would be different. So, just be mindful of that. And make sure that justice is truly starting with you before it can truly be effective for anybody else. Because you can do it with a smile all you want, while you out there and feel like you just super Christian when you go out there to the streets. But until you truly just have a heart and a love for people that are struggling, and really do some research as far as like what's going on in the community, you won't be able to be just within yourself. Amen.
Amen.